What's good, guys? It's TSG. In today's video, we have another nominee for the Illuminati Council. Today, we have Patrick, or Ppoirier, with us. How's it going, man?
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm actually
Good.
really excited. Are you super active in the Discord? I haven't seen too much, but that might just be a me thing.
No, not that much. I came to ask a few questions about economics a
Yeah.
while back, but I read mostly for the announcement.
Yeah, cool. So I'm actually really excited to hear your thoughts and perspectives on the questions that I've prepared. So let's not waste any time. Let's go straight into it. Yeah. The first question I want to ask you is, what are your thoughts on the duration of the epoch? It seems like it's been a constant discussion for a very long time now. What are your thoughts on the 3-month epoch? Do you think it should be extended? If so, by how much? And what are your reasons behind that?
Yeah. So the thing, I was not part of the previous epoch as a council member, so it's hard to know because I have a lack of data in that regard, but it's all based on effort and motivation. If the council member can sustain 3 months without too much trouble,
Yeah.
maybe 4 months, 6 months is fine too. But what I would say though is that any big companies or government make really long decision.
Yeah.
But as a startup, you cannot afford to move at that speed.
Yeah.
So I would say that 3 months still give you some pressure to act fast enough.
Yep. And
So I think maybe 3 months is still acceptable.
yep. And that's because from all the interviews and conversations that I've had, there's been two aspects to this topic. It's one, how does it affect decision making and the council? So like you say, 3 months seems like it's more than enough time to actually start making things and put pressure on them to make fast moves, which is what's needed in a startup.
Yes.
The second aspect is the community aspect. Because as we know in real life, people don't like voting. Not that they don't like voting, but they think it's inconvenient. So what are your thoughts on that? Because having 3 months epochs means that community members need to vote and participate and engage in governance 4 times a year. What do you think the consensus is right now? Do you think that's too much? Do you think they're finding it a nuisance? Do you think they're finding it annoying to deal with? And do you think making it longer might be more beneficial for the community side?
But like, even if it's a nuisance, there will always be a lot of the community members that are misinformed and not super up to speed with what's going on. It's fine if they don't participate, in my opinion, as long as we have at least a decent chunk of people who care enough to be there, which with more informed and up to date with what's going on. We don't need 10 million of those people. I know that the last turnout was not as great, but I don't think it's alarming per se.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So your thoughts. I just want to make sure I summarize this correctly. Your thoughts on this is 3 months seems like it's fine for now, unless there's something that really you're not against extending it. But if it's not broken, no need to fix it. Is that correct?
Kind of, yeah. The thing, I don't mind letting other council member or other community member to decide on that. I don't have much of a preference.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, so let's move on to the second question, something that's a bit more exciting. The land sale is coming up, and it's going to be our first real experience, the first real case of generating a large amount of revenue and redistributing that back to stakeholders. If it was up to you, what would you decide to do? Would you decide to put that out back to stakeholders as a lump sum payment, or would you prefer to do that over a duration of time? And how long would that duration be, and why?
I think typically speaking, I never participate in meme coins or pump and dumps of any kind.
Yep.
I like to invest for the long run.
Yep.
I do a lot of my income through yield farming. So I take decisions that are long lasting. So any sorts of loan payment where a large amount of the community end up with like a big chunk of money all at once, just increase the chance that they start selling.
Yeah.
And if you can anticipate this will happen, a lot of people will just play the game trying to sell when it's the right time. So it's just gonna make the price. It's gonna be a dump for no good reason. I would rather to have daily vesting for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
It's based on data. Like again, if 100 million is spread in the community, but the liquidity pool and the income and the buying volume is so large that it's a drop in the bucket, sure, that's not a problem. But in this case, I think it could be out of whack, and we don't want to suffer a 50% drop in the price of Illuvium and things of that nature.
So
if daily vesting is acceptable, I would say it's not a popular thing to say, but I would say if the game has a value that is expected to last 3 to 5 years, I'm fine if it, even if I'm no longer play the game in 5 years, if I still have some assets that is there, I think it's fine. I'm there for the long run. So.
And so with the revenue, so obviously you're in your mind, the lump sum payment is out because it causes too many problems. So it should be spread out over a period of time. What period of time do you think that should be? Do you think it should be like a 1 month? We're using the land sale as an example. By the way, for everyone that is watching, the land sales is on June the 4th. So this land sale, the revenue, do you think it should be distributed over a month, over 2 months, over 3 months, over a year? How long do you reckon it should take for that revenue to get back to stakeholders?
I would say as long as possible. If it's 3 to 5 years, I would go with that much. But again, it really depends on how much money is there compared to the size of the market. And if anything, you could have like instead of a daily vesting that is just a linear curve, you could also have one that is based on the percentage of mass adoption. If like a year from now we have 100 million players every day, that land sale is probably just going to be a drop in the bucket. So in which case you can accelerate the vesting. But,
and I just want
to me, you should always be careful to make sure you protect the value. Because the last thing you want is players to come in and then the price is super high and a few days later they lose 50% of what they just spent. That's terrible for a game economy.
And I just want to ask your perspective on this because I didn't actually think about this until yesterday, my interview with Tholke, and I thought it was a very important thing to consider, which I haven't heard anyone consider yet. If we do extend it for, like you say, 3 to 5 years, that money, that time is it can be considered as a wasted opportunity for stakeholders, right? So, for example, if we know that money is supposed to come to us anyway, if we get it sooner, we can invest it in other things and make use of that money rather than wait 3 to 5 years or for an extended period of time. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's just a part of what we need to accept for this economy to work, or do you think there's a solution to that?
That's it. It depends on the complexity of implementing this, but I would say that it can be locked in yield farming, and then you remove a part of the liquidity pool over time, and then you distribute it back. So it's the income at that point plus whatever return you get.
Okay. So so you're saying that like the revenue distribution would be, for example, like it would be locked away and it unlocks less than a year, like what we're experiencing now. Just so every little bit it gets unlocked and you have that liquidity, but it's not being wasted. Is that correct?
No, what I'm saying is while it's locked, it could be locked into a liquidity farming pool.
Right. Okay.
So it earns return while it's there.
Yep.
So whether it's in my pocket or the treasury of the company, I don't mind it too much. Still make money on it.
Understood. All right, let's move on to the third question I have today, and that is there's again been a lot of discussion about the news of a 25% fluctuation on fuel price, like the fluctuating fuel price. The rail that we've kind of agreed on in the last IIP, I think it was IIP 20, is 25% up and 25% down. That's the limit that we go. What are your thoughts on that? Because the conversations that I've been hearing is people want the fuel to be pegged to a certain dollar amount so that overall, like general players coming into the overworld aren't going to have to deal with fluctuating prices to play a game. Others are saying that they want it gamified. They want to see the fluctuation. They want it to have an open market feel. And others are saying they want a completely free market and get rid of the 25% rails completely. Where do you stand on that?
I say that every time you give an opportunity to a speculator to come make money on top of players that are coming to enjoy the game, I don't think that's going to help the game in the long run. It's like gaming guild, like I'm running one of them. a lot of the bigger one, they actually crush project like you have no idea. They do the pump and dump, they buy the assets when it's really cheap, it builds some speculation, the players end up buying after them at much higher cost, and then the guild dump on the market.
Yeah.
That's just terrible practice. So I would say that 25%, depending on the time frame, if it's 25% fluctuation over a year, it's not so bad. But if it's every day, it gives the opportunity for people to just take advantage of players.
Yeah.
I don't want the players to end up losing and feeling that I'm not going to play this game because I just keep getting screwed over by speculators and investors.
Yeah.
So,
all right. No, that's fair. That's fair.
You could design a gas system that is based on the moving average over 200 days.
Yeah.
You have a way to stabilize this that would make sense.
Yeah. No, I understood. All right, man. So the last question I have, which is a fun question, and I know you've watched the other interviews, so I'm sure you already know what it is. With the land sale coming up, where there's 2 tier 5s that have arenas on them, if you had naming rights to those arenas, what would you name one of them?
I think I would rather to sell this to a large organization and get the money back into the community, or I would make it some sort of charity and we help promote some good charity everywhere in the world.
Okay, wow, very good. Yeah.
If we have an opportunity, if you have 100 million players again in the game every day, that is extremely valuable. So.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was expecting, when I came up with that question, I was expecting a lot of just stupid DGen answers, but yeah, yourself and Daraji both went with charities, which I was not expecting. So, nah, fair play. All right, man. So before we
let's do some good in the world.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I back that. Before we go, man, is there anything else that you want people to know about you? Where should they reach you? Is it easy to reach you on Twitter, Discord? Anything you want to leave us with?
Discord is good, or LinkedIn. In my nominee application, I put my LinkedIn profile, so feel free to reach out to me. Meanwhile, I would just like to say that those 3 cash questions are not my highest priority to try to join the council for.
Okay.
For me, I really want to try to protect this project against speculation.
Okay.
For example, the land sale, I don't know if it was thought in the first place, but doing it all at once, you incur the risk that, again, some guild will buy all the land, and then it's the players that get screwed over by that. So I would try to limit how much a single entity can accumulate in assets.
Okay.
It's almost like, if you go to watch like a football game or whatever, soccer game, and you have the scalper buy tickets and then be in the parking lot and selling them at 10 times the price. Yeah. That's never a good thing. So
yeah,
we should try to avoid stuff like that. So for me, one of the things I want to accomplish as a council member is exactly this, is trying to protect the gamers and the real community that are there for the long run, as opposed to the day traders and the speculators.
Yeah. No, understood. All right, man, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on. And for anyone else that is watching, stay informed with all of this stuff. Find out who you want to vote for and why you want to vote for them. Make sure that they represent your values. Voting starts on the 28th of May to the 2nd of June. So in about 5 days. So anyone, stay involved, stay up to date. I've got a lot more of these interviews coming out as well. So I hope to see you guys there. Leave some comments down below on what you think of the responses are. But yeah, anyway, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. You know what to do. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.